Good evening. I am Marietu Sidibe and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. And now, here are the main local news headlines. The Independent Electoral Commission on Thursday rejected the nomination of UDP's Momodu Sabali to contest the National Assembly election for Busumbala constituency. The UDP calls IEC's decision unlawful. IEC officials in the Upper River region on Thursday received nomination documents for UDP and PDOIS aspiring candidates. Women Business Advocacy Group, in collaboration with Ma Foundation and partners, on Wednesday celebrated International Women's Day, using the occasion to call for investment and support for women at the ongoing GCCI Trade Fair in Brussels. A non-profit organization, Welfare of Children with Down Syndrome, was launched on Thursday to assist children and youths living with Down syndrome. Those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. The United Democratic Party, UDP, at a press briefing on Thursday said the IEC's rejection of Momodu Sabali's nomination to contest the National Assembly election is unlawful and the party will challenge the decision in court. Our reporter Momodu Gajaga has more.
UDP aspiring National Assembly candidate for Busumbala constituency, Momodu Sabali, was furious after his nomination papers were rejected. The IEC says Sabali has been banned from holding public office according to Section 90E of the Constitution, which stipulates that anyone who has been found by the report of a commission or committee of inquiry to be incompetent to holding public office is disqualified from contesting National Assembly elections. Sabali, who had served under Jammeh in various capacities, including being Secretary General and Minister of Presidential Affairs, had been found liable by the Jammeh Commission for some of the money misappropriation by the former president. The decision triggered angry reactions from UDP supporters, who have vowed to challenge it in court. Here is the party leader and Secretary General, Hussein Udabo.
Proper thing for him to have done was the provisional acceptance and consult the Attorney General on this, or their own leader or their own lawyers. But he says Mr. Sabali has 48 hours. We will not only appeal within that 48 hours, but we will also challenge the decision in the High Court, as others have done previously, as CA did with the nomination of Mr. Sise, as my party also did with his nomination. We'll do that, and we'll show that Mr. Sabali contests these elections. That's what we're going to do.
You've been disqualified from standing as a candidate, but we had to go through all the process, and you have 48 hours to apply to the commission for review of this decision.
For review
of this decision. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
I have questions.
No, I'm not taking questions.
No, I have questions.
No, I'm not taking
questions. You said I have 48 hours to do what?
You have 48 hours to appeal the decision to the commission.
How do I appeal? Can't I have a fair hearing to ask you what is the process of appealing?
Yeah. The right to the commission contesting the decision, and the commission will reply to you.
So the commission has decided here?
No. I'm deciding as the returning officer for this administrative area.
You have decided that I'm not qualified to stand in the National Assembly elections?
Yes.
Based on what?
Based on Section 91E.
But I have appealed against the adverse findings of this commission.
The very last...
And that process is on. So what authority do you have to override a process that's higher than you constitutionally? The Appeal Court of the Republic of the Gambia. I don't think you have the right to do that. I think you are abusing your office, and that's completely unacceptable in a democratic transition. I think you are being used as a tool to oppress an innocent Gambian who has not been found wanting by any court of law.
It now becomes a race against time. The nominations end on Sunday, and it remains to be seen whether Sabally can get the IEC's decision overturned or the UDP will select another candidate. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
The IEC officials in the Upper River region on Thursday received nomination documents for UDP and PDOIS aspiring candidates in Basse. Yahya Jawa reports.
The 6 UDP nominees are Haji Suare of Basse constituency, Fode Drame for Tumanna constituency, Fode Fati for Kantora constituency, Tida Kijera for Wulli West constituency, Muhammad Mahanera for Sandu constituency, and Fatumata Juara for Wulli East constituency. And PDOI has nominated the incumbents Sidia Jata in Wulli West, Suwaibu Ture in Wulli East, and Ansumana TF Sonko for Kantora. The IEC rejected the applications of 2 UDP and 1 PDOIS nominations. For the Fati, UDP's nomination for Kantora failed to submit a leave letter from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, where he works as a teacher. And PDOIS nominee in the same constituency, Ansumana TF Sonko, also had his nomination rejected for not submitting proof of sponsorship and the required number of 300 nominees. The other rejected UDP nomination was Fatumata Juaras in Wulli East because he had previously worked for the IEC as a senior registration officer, which disqualifies her from contesting in the election, according to the IEC. At a press conference after submitting their credentials, Fode Drame, Suwaibu Ture, Sidia Jata and Mohamed Mahanera, who are all seeking re-election, explain why they should be re-elected.
One of the reasons why I want to go back to the National Assembly is to fight back, to bring back the draft constitution that was rejected by the National Assembly. Because one of the reasons why we're not moving as a country is because of the laws that we have. They did not serve the current realities that are really happening in our country.
My intention and my aspiration is to ensure that that new constitution that will actually bring democracy and human rights, concerns to the extent that the Gambian people will live in dignity, freedom and prosperity.
The important thing is, as a citizen, I must play my civic responsibility to see that my people live in a decent situation. They are free, they are sovereign, and they have a decent way of living in this country. That is my mission. And I see that that mission is still not accomplished.
My agenda is to see better Gambia. That is my agenda. But, again, the constitution that we have could have been better if you have the new constitution that was thrown out. Because it gives power to the legislature to bring private member bills. But as of now, you cannot bring any private member bill if you cannot sponsor it. And you cannot take money from the consolidated revenue to sponsor your private member bill.
Tida Kijera, the UDP aspirant for Wulli West, explains why she is contesting.
If you look at the last statistic we have in this country, women form 57% of the population. So that means we are more than men. So it is very necessary for us to come in front of the decision-making points. We should not be left behind. As we form the majority, we should be given chance to also lead and do our best in the development.
Rejected nominations have until 13 March to regularize what was irregular in their applications. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, collaborating with women's advocacy groups, on Wednesday celebrated International Women's Day, using the occasion to call for investment and support for women at the ongoing GCCI trade fair in Brussels. Lola M. Kamara has the rest of that story.
Procurement is important to us because it's only in procurement that we can obligate ourselves, our businesses.
In commemorating the day on the theme Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, these women used the occasion to call on the government to finalize the 30% procurement policy. The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the women in business came together to highlight challenges women continue to face, but also look back on how far they have come, achievements and strategies and ways forward for them. Speaking on the importance of women in advocacy work, The Vice President of the Gambia, Dr. Aissatou Toure, said women encounter a lot of resistance in their advocacy work. She added women should always believe in themselves and their ability to be leaders in the economy and politics of this country by overcoming the social and cultural barriers that continue to impede progress.
Empowering women advocacy networks can be a major force for social transformation, bridging the gaps between policy advocacy and grassroots activism.
VP Toure further went on to say that women, especially from the grassroots, can play important roles as leading agents of change in their respective areas to develop a more democratic and egalitarian society.
It is no secret that the current democratic dispensation, led by His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, has created an enabling environment for women to fulfill their dreams and aspirations.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare states that women should be celebrated each day because of their immense contribution to national development. And in celebrating International Women's Day, women should move out from being poor to compete at high levels to achieve gender equality.
If you look at the woman, she's in charge of everything. We have women as farmers, we have women as housewives, teachers, we could go to the health sector, we have the nurses, the doctors. As women now, we are happy to count the number of female doctors that we have in the Gambia.
Fatoumata Jawara, the chairperson of the Double BAG, said the Women in Business Advocacy Group is a network of women in businesses established to advocate for the rights and protections of all women who are engaged in business and trade.
You will notice at this National Trade Fair grounds a number of migrant women working in close partnership with Gambian women to demonstrate their knowledge and skills as they venture in a man's world with pride and dignity for a common goal. Whilst we continue to lead the network and inspire the younger generation to strive and carry women in trade and business further higher, we call for great investment and support to women.
Seraphine Wakana, the UN Residence Coordinator, expressed delight that women are now seen in more sectors compared to before, and happy to see these remarkable women trying to break the barriers, adding that promoting equal access and participation of women in all fields is not only a commitment, but the only way to build a sustainable tomorrow. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
International Women's Day. When women are empowered, they change the world. Break the bias. Kill self. Sunubas. We innovate, others follow.
My name is Aissatou Jawara. I am the Managing Director of Aji Bank Limited. Most of our key units are headed by women. They are contributing immensely towards the performance of the bank. There is no secret to my success. I love what I'm doing, and as such, never take no for an answer and always go extra mile to achieve my goals. So our wonderful and hard-working women out there, you are all doing a great job and we are extremely proud of you. Let's push and break the barriers for a more inclusive society. Happy International Women's Day.
Modu came in to buy some bathroom floor tile, but once he laid eyes on our basins, he fell in love with a stunning basin and with a breathtaking faucet. With a brand new mirror too, at a bargaining price.
So, I got a bathtub too.
Oh yes, he picked up a bathtub too.
It's Batty Days time at Batty Mats. Enjoy exceptional discounts up to 70% on all our product families. From March 5th to 19th, you're going to splurge. Batty Mats, everything for construction, from foundation to finishing.
Welcome back. The welfare of children with Down syndrome was launched on Thursday to assist children and youths living with Down syndrome reintegrate with ease into society. Here's Annabelle Gay with the rest.
The Welfare of Children with Down Syndrome, the Gambia, was formed by a group of volunteers dedicated to improve the lives and support children with Down syndrome, as well as their families across all regions of the country. The association aims to support the funding of necessities such as medicine, food, wheelchairs, and clothing, as well as providing financial support wherever else needed. The charity's aim is to engage in advocacy and create awareness on Down syndrome. Mohammed Suare, the National Coordinator for Welfare of Children with Down syndrome, explains.
I will not do justice if I didn't recognize the tireless effort done by the board in making sure that they have reached to the doorstep of underprivileged or the needy people.
Omar Mbake, Deputy Director of Children Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, also explained the importance of this association.
One of the fundamental roles of this association will be to act as a coordinating, facilitating, enabling body of individuals, groups, persons, communities, institutions involved in the area of helping people with Down syndrome. Our ambition is grounded in an expanded view of potentials of women and children's potentials, not only to survive and improve their own lives, but to thrive as leaders of positive change in the Gambia.
About 95% of the time, Down syndrome is caused by trisomy 21, where a person has 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2 in all cells. This causes physical and mental development delays and disabilities. Musa Yali Bachali, a philanthropist, urged President Barrow to fund the construction of places for children with special needs.
President Barrow, in next autumnal forsumala but mangla wali is a special need. Johal guy, we need a space 200 by 200. All the Gambians go right again from age of 18 above. You contribute, you build facility.
Fatu Cham is a qualified teacher and has been in the field for 15 years. She quit the teaching field to care for her child with Down syndrome. She encouraged mothers whose children have similar conditions to be caring towards their children, adding that children with Down syndrome are discriminated and stigmatized in society. The Association for Welfare of Children with Down syndrome thanked their sponsors, especially the Gambia Association in Canada, for supporting children with Down syndrome in the Gambia. Several institutions made significant donations at the venue to the association to support the children. Various artists, including ST, were present to show solidarity, support, and entertain members of the association and children with Down syndrome. The event quickly transformed into a space for children with special needs to enjoy themselves. Reporting for QTV News, this is Annabelle Gay.
Sheikh Zayed Eye Care Hospital, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, on Tuesday commemorated World Glaucoma Week to raise awareness on glaucoma, one of the leading causes of blindness. Ajibintu Drame reports.
World Glaucoma Week is celebrated every March, and this year it is observed from the 6th to the 12th. World Glaucoma Week is a unique initiative that puts a spotlight on glaucoma as the leading cause of preventable irreversible blindness. The event began with a march past from Westfield to Sheikh Zayed Eye Care Hospital in Kanifing. Sajo Kanyi, program manager of the National Eye Health Program, says creating glaucoma awareness is crucial and urges the public to get their eyes checked.
In Gambia, we have 8 secondary eye units where this eye testing can be done. If you are in URR, you don't need to come here, you can go to Basse. If you are in CRR, you don't need to come here, you can go to Bansang, just like all other regions. So what we are advocating is for people to make use of this week and go to any nearest eye clinic to have their eyes tested. Especially if you are if you have a family history of eye disease. Your parents have an eye disease, we will encourage you to come and test your eyes.
The prompt diagnosis and treatment of glaucoma can prevent needless vision impairment. However, so many are unaware they have the disease or may not have access to much needed care. Mr. Kanyi advised people to refrain from using traditional means for eye treatment.
Care services is available. In the Gambia, eye care services is accessible, is available. People are aware of the services and the service is acceptable. So we have all the 4 A's. There is no barrier to eye care services. So what I would encourage people is to come to the nearest hospital. Don't go to this traditional eye practice. When you go there, they will destroy your eyes. The number of youths who are coming here and getting blind from glaucoma, and when their blind is permanent, it's irreversible. So this menace has to stop. Enough is enough.
Alassana Toure, a cataract surgeon at Sheikh Zayed Eye Care Hospital, explains the causes of glaucoma.
It's aging which will not leave nobody. We will all age. We either die or we will age. So when you are aged about 40 years, you are already at a risk of getting glaucoma. Now people living with diabetes and hypertension are also at a higher risk of getting glaucoma.
Aisa Tuba, Principal Ophthalmic Medical Assistant, had this to say.
And please women, since it's March 8th, it's Women's Day, take this opportunity and get your eyes tested. We are the controllers of the house. We can't afford to go blind. We must get our eyes tested. We must protect our vision.
Ya Awalum, a glaucoma patient, advises people to get their eyes checked.
Because of man, mom la am. Suma yaay daf ko am, suma mag bu góor am ko, suma mag bu jigéen am ko.
I can say a lot about glaucoma because I am a glaucoma patient. Both my mother, elder brother and elder sister have glaucoma. It was detected at an early stage and I was told it can be treated. I am consistent with the treatment, so I'm urging everyone to get his or her eyes checked. Bring your families as well because it can be a hereditary factor. Glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness in the world, especially in older people. As the numbers are expected to increase exponentially, it is a growing public health concern that needs more attention and effective eye health systems. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
At a press conference on Friday, the management of the Gambia Ferry Services said fishing activities along the Banjul-Bara ferry route is affecting ferry operations and may cause damage to ferry engines. Abibatu Sise has more.
The announcement came following the maintenance and rehabilitation of the Kunta Kinte and Kanilai ferry engines worth over $30 million. Lamin Jawara, the director of Gambia Ferry Services, reveals that on Wednesday, 9th of March 2022, while the Kunta Kinte ferry was on operations, its propeller got entangled with a fishing net, leading to engines shut down. Jawara further explains.
When we fish, we have to fish responsibly, so that the fishing activities are not done on the ferry lane. This has been a frequent occurrence, and then we are calling off this media briefing in order to sensitize the public to ensure that fishing activities are not done on the ferry lane. We'll do a follow-up by engaging the necessary stakeholders like the Gambia Maritime Administration, the National Environment Agency, the Fisheries and Environment Ministry, the Navy, so that and of course the community in Banjul and Bara, so that we see how best we can engage the community in a meaningful manner, so that fishing can go along, but at the same time the ferries are also protected.
Yankuba Mane, the PRO of the Gambia Ferry Services, says the ferry's contact with the fishing nets pose a serious threat to ferry operations, adding that many people use the Banjul-Bara crossing points.
If the ferry is down for just 1 hour, it calls for general public outcry. There will be a lot of comments, a lot of talks, on our radio stations, on Facebook, and perhaps they will find themselves in the local newspapers. So this is something that we have taken concern of, and we are pretty much preoccupied with, to ensure that we improve our service efficiency. But like I said, it is a collective effort. It requires our efforts as well as members of the public, all stakeholders, including the media.
Lamin Jawara further stated that plans are afoot to construct the Bansan crossing point to ease mobility in those areas.
This is a similar work that was done at Janjambure. If you remember, the Janjambure and the Lamenkoto and the Janjambure slipways were in a very bad shape. But our engineers have, worked on it, did a slipway construction, and now there's no problem on that one. So we will replicate the same thing at the Bansang and the Bustown route. Also, the Kaur ferry has been down for a while, but the engine has been removed and currently is in our workshop, is undergoing repairs. Hopefully, within a week or two, when the repairs are done, that ferry also will be back into service.